Fermín López, though, was a real big talking point today. His 2 goals, Nigel. Here's just a look at some of his day, because he sometimes doesn't always get the credit that he deserves, being on a team full of such superstars.
Yeah, one of the most underappreciated midfielders in world football right now. Takes his first goal. Well, goalkeeper probably is very questionable getting beaten in their post like that. But he doesn't care. He puts it in the back of the net. He does what he has to do. But this goal there is just pure quality there. You can't give a player of his quality that much time and space to edge of the box. You see him there opening up his hip like he's going for that far corner, comes across, back across it to the left corner. Real talented player, great technical ability. And he's just another player in a very talented Barcelona side. Like Grella said, the Barcelona, you don't worry about them scoring goals. They've got so many players who are match winners individually and collectively as a team. Their biggest question's always been defensively. You never worry about them scoring goals, creating chances. That's never going to be a problem. But Fermín López had a fantastic game today. And he's, again, a player that doesn't get the recognition for probably being one of the top midfielders in world football.
5 Champions League goals as well. He leads the team, and that's impressive to say. They've got the likes of Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha as well.
He's this big, by the way. He's this big. And I think that's the beauty for me of because we're moving into a modern age of football. Every year we do it, where the number 10s are disappearing from the game, the creativity is disappearing from the game, because it's all about power and pace, and you have to be an athlete, and how high can you jump. Towards the end of my career, actually, they'd be like, get me on this pad. Be like, see how high you can jump, we'll see how long you can hang up in the air there. It was crazy, lasers to test your hamstring.
Did you like that?
I hated it.
You did?
I hated it. All sorts of tests. Oh, you've gained 2 pounds over the weekend because I had a couple beers or something. Crazy.
So
right?
That's the bit you hated.
No tiramisus?
But everything. But these guys are masters of the football, right? It's the reason why you play football, because of the technical abilities, the creativity, the different types of goals, the Olmo goal. You pay to watch that type of goal. You pay to watch this guy play, the way he swerves it into the corner. The masters of the football, masters of the space, masters of how to use the body that they have. Is just incredible, and it's sort of like they're really good at what the game was supposed to be. And it's not about the power and the pace, although that is a part of football moving forward.
That's credit to Barcelona. That's credit to the foundation of Barcelona as a football club. They've always been about the footballer. They haven't gone like some other clubs have gone, like Grella saying, he's 100% right. They've gone for athletes. They've gone for the big 6-foot players and this and that, and if you're an athlete first, we can coach football into you. Barcelona has always been about the football first before the athlete. And when you talk about players like Fermín López, you talk about Pedri as well, how much of a player he is. And he's not the biggest of players, but he's super talented. And you'd have to say already he is, again, another player that's in the conversation, one of the best midfielders in the world, where it's all about the football. It's all about the abilities, the intelligence. It's not about the athleticism, the big, strong, can run quick. But then when it comes to football intelligence, we see them making the same mistakes week in, week out, because they don't have the footballing brain. So I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Barcelona, the academy system, and how they coach their kids. Football comes first, and it's your technical ability. If you're good enough, you'll play regardless of your size.
It does always come back to the same question, though, doesn't it, Troy? Can they have both? Can they be a little bit more defensively sound and still play this free attacking football that everybody loves so much? Do you think that there is more of a balance required for them to go deep in the Champions League?
I think there's more of an in-game balance. I think when they've got their starting 11 and you get the front three of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski really putting pressure on the defenders, it's obviously hard then to play those passes that we spoke about like Inter did. You stop that. But I think in-game, when you get to 60, 70 minutes, players start to tire and you can't keep pressing. And you get weaker, right? When you take your best players off and you put subs on, normally you get weaker. At that point, then, can you adjust? Can you go from that? Instead of that being intense, high pressure, can we go to a mid-block? Maybe that helps. But again, with a lot of these coaches, they have their systems. They've won with that, so they've got to feel that that is the way to do it. And they have their philosophies on football. So I don't think it's going to change. I think you mentioned it with Antonio Conte, if you remember, Nigel, sorry, you were talking about he won't change. I don't think Hansi Flick's going to change. I don't think Arteta's going to change. I don't think Pep Guardiola's going to change. They come in with this philosophy because that's why they were hired, and that's how they're going to go out on that shield.
You just promised for me is like, yeah, there is definitely a more balance. That's what the manager's job is, to always find balance within the team and to make sure that his best players are in the best situation to succeed. There's no coach in the world, there's no person on planet Earth right now that can tell me that with a minute left in the Champions League semifinal, when you have the football, that you should be shooting and trying to score another goal like Yamal did in last year's competition, and let Inter in 1 pass, 2 passes go and score the goal that puts them through. By the way, a center back goes and scores it. So There is no scenario in football. There's no system in
Do you think that
football.
haunts Hansi Flick, by the way it haunts like everybody else that's a Barcelona fan or even a neutral that was watching that?
It has to. It has to. And I know there's stubborn fans out there and stubborn managers out there that say, no, we'd still do it. No, you wouldn't. With a minute left in Champions League semi-final, no, you wouldn't. You would manage the game better. You would pass the ball around. You'd waste time in the corner. That's what champions do. That's what teams have to do. There is no system that says, oh, with the 30 seconds left, go take a risk in trying to score another goal that we don't need, and the other team goes back and ties the game. There is no system for that.
I think they'll do
that has to change.
I think they'll do the same thing.
And they'll never win a Champions League.
It is what the club is. Whether it's Barcelona or Real Madrid, they have that ego and that sense of pride. This is us. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to run it into the corner. We're too good for that. This is our club.
They
it's
won't
our
win
foundation.
this competition.
This is what they're going to do.
See. So Spanish teams in the Champions League, how do they look so far? Real Madrid, they are through to the next round. They're really good chance of of making the top 8. They're in 3rd place as it stands. Barcelona just behind them. Atletico Madrid pretty high in the table, 12th place they stand. And Athletic Club also in there. Villarreal have been eliminated, as we mentioned earlier on today. It's always a topic, Grella, isn't it? The high line that Hansi Flick plays. How did you feel Barca did today against Slavia Prague?
It's a Barcelona side that in the last 10 Champions League games have conceded a goal first time in their history. So that tells you a little bit of how they're playing. They're getting into a shootout with all these different teams. And I think in the group stage, it's okay. I think in league play, it's okay because you're going to get away with it over 36 games, 40 games, over 90-minute games. But once it comes down to the two-legged playoff and you play teams that are quite pragmatic and really smart and sitting sort of in the weeds, Inter, perfect example last season, played against them. Inter, older side, knew that they couldn't play them toe-to-toe. I don't think many teams can play Barcelona, by the way, toe-to-toe, individual for individual. So teams will sit in, and they know within 2 or 3 passes they can hurt you. So, last year with Inter, they conceded 7 goals with, I think, I counted it 14 passes. So that's not good enough. So if they don't fix that way of playing, is it fun to watch? Is it awesome? The goal from Olmo, amazing. I'd sit there with my son all day and say, watch Barcelona, awesome to watch, fantastic football team. But we talk about at the end of the season, are they going to win Champions League football games when it really matters in the big moments? Absolutely not.
Do you not think
absolutely
from last
not
year's
playing this way?
Do you not think from last year's experience that they'll be willing to change and adapt this year moving forward? You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
In the knockout stages? Yeah, but in the knockout stages, though, when it starts to get to the serious...
There's no sign of them changing. Hansi Flick came out at the end of last season, beginning of this season as well, said, we are not changing. And there has not been 1% sign that they're changing their way.
So how come it works in LaLiga to win the LaLiga title, but it doesn't work in the Champions League?
For me to answer that question, I think it's because in LaLiga, everyone wants to play. It's quite nice in terms of, like, no one's going to go from back to front really quick. As you're talking about Inter sat in quite deep, new, get a few passes, let this Barcelona team come, and we'll just spin it round the corner and have the pace of Thuram to get in behind. So I just think the way that teams are playing now suits them. I think when you get to the more business end of it, I think the likes of Arsenal, Bayern Munich, arguably Real Madrid will all have fun playing against that back line.